most humans want similar things. They want to be loved. They want to be seen. They want to be safe. They want to be creative. They want to be heard. They want to create a legacy for their children.
Power of vision and intention. It is everything. When you can see yourself in these dreams that you have, it's that knowing that like you are made for this and it's going to happen and it's part of you already.
A bucket list item is something you can check off. Done. A living intention is something that you're being, energy that you're being, a feeling that you're being, a feeling that you emanate and expand into the world.
Who is the person you want to become? And how do you start learning how to be more like that? And you have people who are just choosing to see the best in you, you will rise to that.
Really excavating your authentic self and being who you really are, which is pure, loving light energy.
Join me, 'cause I'm seeking sunshine, I'm seeking sunshine, I'm seeking sunshine, oh, I'm seeking sunshine, I'm seeking sunshine, I'm seeking sunshine, I'm seeking sunshine.
Welcome to Seeking Sunshine, Do What Lights You Up, a podcast for passionate, creative moms who are ready to live their best life and be their full, lit-up selves while being amazing moms, because it's possible to be both. It turns out that you don't have to lose yourself in motherhood, and I'm here to show you how. This is Seeking Sunshine 2.0 because we are no longer focusing on the problems, but on the solutions. It's your turn to shine. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Seeking Sunshine podcast, and thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to talk to you again and to share this amazing guest. I know we always have amazing guests, but today is my good friend Mare App, and she and I have been working together for a little while now, and whenever I refer to like my favorite podcast, hers is the one that I'm talking about. So I'm especially excited to share this interview with you because there is just something about her. Well, and I know exactly what it is. It's her content and her joy and her energy. Like what you're going to learn from this episode will change your life, like for real, because it has completely changed mine. Mare talks about living your actual dreams, which requires you to figure out what you actually want in your life, which is a lot harder than we maybe initially think it is, and it requires a lot of introspection and deep diving. So it's really an incredible work that she does. So in this episode, we're going to talk about what is it that we actually do want, how we can make the best of this human experience we're living, and the ways that we can support others in the things that they really want. So Mare App is the founder of Conscious Connection Circles, a practice of intentionally showing up to witness the lives of women, creating meaningful connections and navigating life's accountabilities. Mare has empowered hundreds of women through her coaching and facilitating to identify and pursue their own life dreams and desires. She believes in the power of creating a safe and judgment-free space for people to share their living intentions. This practice helps women navigate through their many life journeys, uncover their authentic life dreams, develop meaningful connections, and learn to give and receive the support they need to bring those dreams to fruition. Mare's commitment to fostering the supportive community of women has led her to help others start their own conscious connection circles, guiding them in creating a framework that allows women to explore, identify, and achieve their dreams while supporting the dreams of other women. Every time I talk to Mare, it lifts my spirits and my soul because she just has this way of seeing the very best in people. So I know that you are going to love this episode. So let's dive in. Mare, I am so thrilled to talk to you today for the Seeking Sunshine podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm looking forward to talking to you as well.
Oh, awesome. You are just one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. And I'm so excited for everyone who listens to the show to hear about everything that you do because it is life-changing work.
It is. It is.
And it's literally all about doing what lights you up. Like it just embodies it in every way, shape, and form. So I would love you to introduce us to conscious connection circles and how it began and just introduce us to this concept.
I have, I'm from a big family. I have 8 siblings. And when you have that many siblings, somebody's most important life moment is happening every week. I had a job at a university where I worked nights and weekends, which really created strife in my ability to show up for the family events because they were often at night and on weekends when I was working. So I thought, well, how can I let my family know that they matter to me, they're important, and I can still, well, really, I wanted to write myself a permission slip to not attend all the family command performances. If you loved me, you would show up, sort of.
Can you tell me how you fit in the 8 kids? Like
I'm number 1.
You're number 1. I'm also a number 1, but I'm only one of 3. So
yeah, I'm number 1. I'm the oldest. And yeah, so at any rate, I created a workshop. It was 4 hours. I invited my sisters that lived in state, my mom, and some of my friends with the intention of filling them up with love so that they would feel really good and I could go away and finish school and date and start a career and do all the things you do in your 20s, basically.
Have a life outside
yeah,
of
like have a life separate from family.
Yeah,
that's really kind of what was my intention, but I also wanted them to know that they were loved. So I did that, and then they wanted more. And I was like, my whole intention was to give myself a permission slip not to spend time with you. And so I said, all right, I'll do it once every 6 months. So in between the first one and the second one, I heard something on the radio or I read it in a magazine. It's in the olden days, it's before cell phones and the internet and blah, blah, blah. So, and it was about 2 women, or one woman was telling the story of how she met her best friend. They met in high school, freshman year. One of the girls grew up in Tennessee, the other girl in New York City. And Tennessee moved to New York City because her dad was getting his medical doctor certification. He was done with school. Now his residency assignment was New York City. So he moved his family to New York City. That's how they got there. And so Tennessee meets New York, freshman year of high school. And as girls do at about the age of 13, 14, they have girlfriends and they talk about all their dreams. And Tennessee said that she wanted to go to Europe. That was her dream. She enrolled New York into all the New York City events, because moving to New York for Tennessee was like a kid walking into a big toy store. getting the overwhelm and there's all these options, she wanted to, well, every event that they went to, every festival, every museum, every experience, she pretended they were doing something in Europe. I don't know New York. I know Denver. So I'm just pretending they're in Denver in this moment. Tennessee says, let's have tea with the Queen of England. And so they talk their moms into taking them to the Brown Palace, which is a 5-star hotel in Denver. And they have the high tea experience. But when they're telling their friends about it, it's that they had tea with the Queen of England. Another thing that happens in Denver is the stock show, which started with cattle. They actually drive cattle down the streets of Denver even now every year for the start of the stock show. And she said, get your clipboard, boots, hat. We're going to the stock show. New York shows up. Why does New York show up every time her friend asks her to do some adventure? I don't know. I have friends like that they'll just say, hey, you know, spontaneously, do you want to do this, that, or the other thing? And
We all need friends like that.
I say yes, right? So she goes to meet Tennessee at the stock show and is given the instructions of, we are selecting the bulls that are going to run in the running of the bulls in Spain this year.
Oof.
So on their clipboard, they're choosing the ones. They're 14. What I make up is that they chose the prettiest colors. They looked in some of their eyes and, you know, we're like, oh, they could see the heart of the animal. And so they chose that one. I don't know. Everything they did, Tennessee flipped it into a European experience. Fast forward, Tennessee is married. Her husband's going to a conference in Paris and extending his stay for a week. And she's going to fly over at the end of the conference and get the first stamp in her passport in Europe. And the plane blows up over the ocean and everyone dies. It rocked me. And what her friend said in this article, wherever I read it or saw it or etc., was that her friend lived her life. She lived her European experience, her European dream. She chose it every day. She knew what she wanted and she lived her life as if she were having that European dream. And I was like, I want some of that because I didn't know what my European dream was. I didn't know my mom's. I didn't know my sisters. I have 6 sisters. That's a big deal. I have friends. What if I'm not being a good friend and not supporting my friends and my family with their dream? I don't even know what their dreams are. I did not even know what my dream was in that moment. So at the next workshop with my family and friends, I told them to bring their, in today's words, it would be a bucket list. Bring your top 10 items for your bucket list. My intention was to find out what their dreams were so I could do something about it. And literally that's what happened. When people brought their lists and I made them give a copy to everybody who was in our circle. It was a tea party. That's what I called it in the beginning. I did not call it conscious connection circles. That morphed as more people wanted to play. And I was trying to remove myself from groups so that I could do school and a career and date, right? But at any rate, so as more people wanted to play, I helped them start their own groups. It's morphed into the sweet spot now. What I know is 50. When you have 50 living intentions and you share it with your friends, your life changes because you're held accountable for what you say you want and you can change your mind. You don't have to keep them. We met once every 6 months, the first group with my sisters and my mom and my friends. And every 6 months you would bring a fresh list. And when you brought me your list in that first group, what I would do is I would put it on the door of the apartment. So every time I left the apartment, the girlfriend, and I don't mean romantic, I mean the girl I shared an apartment with, we would read one of the lists before we went to school or work or whatever, before we started our day. So one of us would read somebody's list out loud. Well, what that did is it put into my consciousness what people wanted, what their dreams were. And because I had that at the ready, when something showed up that supported somebody's dream, I was able to make that connection and take it out of a magazine and mail it to them, or tell them about their favorite author that was coming into town that I read in, the newspaper or saw on TV. Whatever it was, maybe it's their favorite color. I saw a scarf or something in their favorite color, and I would, get that item for them. It could be, it's all over the board because it's always changing. And that's what it's about. It's about getting clear on what your dream is, writing it down and sharing it within a safe group. And your family might not be safe. It might be that you have to choose friends. For me, I like to, when I create new circles at this point, I like being in groups that are not exactly the same. I want to learn different religions. I want to learn different the political view of people that don't share mine, because I want to understand it differently. And I can support somebody. I can disagree with somebody's politics or somebody, and not choose somebody's religion. And what I've learned by doing this is that most humans want similar things. They want to be loved. They want to be seen. They want to be safe. They want to be creative. They want to be heard. They want to create a legacy for their children. Regardless of their religion, regardless of their politics, regardless of their health. Those items, those constructs are what most people want. I can get on board with that. I can support that. And what I really encourage is that you're here, you're having a human experience, get the most out of it. Squeeze the juice out of your human experience, and you
how,
can't do it alone.
yeah, how incredible to be in a supportive, safe group of people, knowing, each other's kind of deepest desires, and then have that, on your heart and mind to be like, how can I support them? Because it brings so much joy to be able to help bring people's dreams to life. And then to have your personal desires and, heartfelt dreams be seen and witnessed by other people is incredible.
Yes, and what I've learned is, well, and I know that the research supports that when you show up in service to others, it actually contributes to your mental well-being. So, what I'm also aware of is that I've only worked with women. I've invited men to play, but it doesn't usually resonate in the end. And so it's mostly women, and I'm okay with that. What I have found is that it's hard for women to ask for what they need. It's hard for women to get clear on what they want. And when you do this in community, the safety of the circle, when you hear somebody else's dreams, you're like, oh, I want that. I want some of that, and I want some of that, and I want some of that. And I say, yes, put it on your list. Go for it. Do it. Yes, you can have anything that anybody else wants if it resonates with your heart songs, right? Like if it's what you want, yes.
Ooh, I love this idea of like granting yourself permission to want things. Because as women, we so frequently deny ourselves that all of those joys and desires and like, no, it's too much. I can't even want that. I can't even think about wanting that.
I do find that in the beginning, people struggle with allowing themselves to know what they want. They were in resistance and pushing it away for so long so that they could take care of everybody else but themselves, that they're not even conscious anymore of what it is that they really want. Is that yours or is that somebody else's? It's one of the questions we ask people in the circle. Is that really yours? Well, no, it isn't. It's the message I got as a child is to be a good girl looks like this. And I want to be a good girl. And why do you want to be a good girl? Because you're looking for the approval of a parent or a teacher or an adult, or to be liked by somebody. And that's part of what the getting clear on what you want and being able to practice and being able to throw it all away. Because a lot of times the list that you start with, you're still doing it through all those filters. I would say that my first list, it was who I was in that moment and who I was allowing myself to be in that moment and who I was allowing consciously to show up on the page. And as I practiced and I saw everybody else's and I tried some of these things on, I learned what really wasn't mine at all. And that's no longer on my list. So living intentions, what we teach is it can change all the time. It can change every day. It can change every minute. It can change every hour. It can change from this meeting to that meeting with your group. You're not stuck with what you say you want in this moment. You get to change it. And we
Yeah, it's a
encourage that you
living,
change it.
it's a
It's
living
living.
list.
And we teach how to ask for support, how to give support, and how to receive support. Those are the three tenets, I would say, that are well, first, get clear on what you want, right? Or what you think you want in this moment. Share it, because when you share it, you're held accountable. And there's something in that accountability that is an ingredient that up levels and puts the universe on notice that you're serious about choosing having this experience.
And one thing I really loved that you said in your last podcast episode, which guys, you have to go listen to her podcast because it's like absolutely my favorite, is that people see you differently when you say these things out loud. If you say you're a world traveler, all of a sudden the people you've told that to, they see you in that light and how powerful that is.
Yes, yes, absolutely. When I know what your dreams are, all right, in full, no, I don't know the right word to say, but I've been working with you a little bit. I'm
Yes, Mare and I are
I'm
friends and know each other a bit.
drilling, like excavating some of your dreams. So I've been working on a draft for you. And it's so juicy. So every time I see you now, I see you singing at the Olympics. I can't imagine that that's not going to happen at some point because it's so visceral in my own self. But yes, I see you singing at the Olympics.
I want to talk for a second about this power because it came up at the beginning when you were talking too. The power is the word that keeps coming up for me. And I'm wishing there was a stronger word here than power because it's just so all-encompassing. The power of vision and intention. It is everything. When you can see yourself in these dreams that you have, when you can see them for other people, when you can see, ahead of the things that like that's literally kind of what manifestation is. That's a big buzzword these days, right? That's what it is. It's that knowing that like you were made for this and it's going to happen and it's part of you already, even though it hasn't necessarily played out, but it's part of you. And that knowing is so powerful. It's the seeing before it happens.
It's the feeling. It's connecting to the feeling of being the person who sings at the Olympics. When I say my friend Karaleigh sings at the Olympics, I can, first of all, I can hear the most beautiful sounds from your voice. I see you in exquisite clothing, and I see a standing ovation and hear the roar of that standing ovation. And this, I can hear people stomping their feet to make everything louder in the joy they're experiencing in hearing the sound of the message that's coming through your voice to celebrate the Olympians.
We are going to pause here for a moment to talk about Podcast Like a Mother. The Podcast Like a Mother podcast creation course is all about teaching you how to make podcasting work for your life. Podcasting should be easy, fun, and created right from your cell phone so that you aren't stuck behind a desk all day. It's time for you to leave your legacy and capture your stories because you are here for a reason, to use your voice and inspire others. Head to the show notes to learn more. Now, back to the show.
It's literally stepping into the energy of
Yes.
it. It literally is. And I have
Yes.
to say this, and I've been meaning to tell her this, and I haven't said this. Amanda, right? Amanda Farron. And for anybody who is listening who doesn't know Amanda Farron, she is this incredible miracle friend of mine. And she sent me this glittery, sparkly duster thing for my birthday, which is there's pictures on Instagram if you want to see it. And the first time I put it on, I literally could hardly bear to put it on because the energy of it was so much like greater than the current energy that I had. Like I could literally feel the high vibe of this piece of clothing when I was like, this is going to be hard to tolerate wearing for a whole day because it's so incredible. Like it's so like I had to like put it on for greater lengths of time, like in the week before that I wore it all day for my birthday because I was like, I have to like get used to wearing such an exquisite piece of clothing. Just like you're talking about this vision, like you have to get ready to step into the energy of like being that person who is it. And so I want to lead this into the difference between a living intention statement versus a bucket list item, because I think it goes right hand in hand with that, like being the thing on your list versus checking something off.
Correct. And that is the difference. A bucket list item, not wrong, not better, different. A bucket list item is something you can check off. Done. A living intention is something that you're being, an energy that you're being, a feeling that you're being, a feeling that you emanate and expand into the world.
And I know this because you did a whole podcast episode on it and I was listening to it. It was amazing. But it's the difference between like, ooh, I have a sparkly piece of clothing that I own versus I'm a person who rises to that energy of that clothing. I'm a person who just sparkles. And
yes, you are.
And sometimes I am, and sometimes like I'm not always that person.
You don't get excused from your human experience.
Right. It's true. But
the
like
difference is you don't have to stay in the suffering.
Yes. Yes. And when it comes to this singing at the Olympics, it's just the difference. It's checking off the box and then going back to whoever I was before versus being, I'm a person who does these incredible things. I'm a person who rises to that and who lives this dream and who is there for it no matter what the event I'm at is. It's just,
Yes.
it's a higher energy all the time. It's an internal sparkle, literally, that is always in existence and like a level of confidence. And that's what comes from the list and from like figuring out the thing that lights you up and the thing that you want. Who is the person you want to become? And how do you start learning how to be more like that?
I think it's really excavating your authentic self and being who you
Yeah,
really are, which is pure, loving light energy.
love it.
That's who we all really are, is pure, loving light energy. Now, holding and sustaining that vibration of love is a workout. And
Yeah,
in the human experience that we've chosen, in my opinion, the human experience is about feeling good, bad, right, all the feels. That's the human experience. But I believe we are divine energy choosing to have a human experience. And the human experience is feeling all the feels, all of them. And in the human experience, we assign meaning to everything. That's the human experience. If you're in your pure, loving, light energy, sustaining it, there's no judgment. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's not good, it's not bad. You're not assigning a meaning to whatever's happening. You're just being. But we signed up for a human experience. So
yeah.
it's
Well, and it helps us. It the human experience. It helps us grow. It helps us to understand more of what we want. It helps us to become. It helps us to see clearer.
yeah, that's the work I do. It's an invitation to get clear on how you want to spend this human experience to the most expansive, juicy experience of a lifetime. And why not? And what I'm aware of is that when you do it in a circle with other women, when you are in your human moments of, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, who am I to say, blah, 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 who am I to want this? We're there to say, who are you not to be? Which is Marianne Williamson. And I see you singing at the Olympics. I feel your songs reverberate through all of the cells of my body because when you sing, you're coming from that pure loving light energy, and it is your sparkle in a visual that emotes from your song, from your music, and can be translated for each human, no matter what language they speak, because what you're doing is the energy of pure loving light energy. Right? That's what happens when your songs are performed. That's what I hear. And I love it so much. So you might be having a bad day, but when you say that to me, I go, oh, I see. And then I know I'm no more things on your list because I'm working on it with you, right? And so then I will take other pieces of that. I'm aware that You have created support systems in your life so that you being a priority actually fills you up so that you have the fuel in which to navigate the rest of your life during a day. What I know from your list is that being able to make yourself a priority in self-care is actually fueling and supporting you being a loving mother, a loving wife, a loving community member,
Yep.
and an amazing voice on podcasting and singing at the Olympics.
It is true. And it's so funny how I say do what lights you up because it fills you up. And and I say things like, go be selfish, because the more selfish that you can be, the more that you can be whole when you show up for the people around you. The more that I'm, spending my time while my kids are at school doing things like talking to you. And, I just got off an interview with someone else for their podcast. Like, this fills me up. Like, this is so juicy and amazing. And like, this will turn my whole day around. Anything that I was happening this morning, it's like, oh no, this really soothes my soul. And it's the thing that lights me up. Like, it brings me so much energy. And so then when my kids get out of school, it doesn't matter what kind of day they had. I can handle whatever energy they come at me with. I can handle getting through the afternoon things and helping them with their homework and helping them get their rooms clean and tackling the huge pile of dirty dishes I have in the sink to do, which is not a thing that lights me up. So I haven't done it yet. So it's like, there's all sorts of things that I do need to tackle in my day that are not things that light me up. That I'm not saying, by being selfish that I'm not going to do other things that aren't. I'm saying that by spending some time filling myself up, I'm going to be able to, it's a balancing act. We do some of each so that we can have what we need to do both.
It's balancing and expanding. The expanding is what I know in this moment is that I'm having a conversation with you. The expanded piece is I'm becoming aware that I'm actually going to have to buy a ticket to the Olympics to be in person to hear you sing. And I don't know which Olympics you're going to sing at. It could be in 10 years. I think the Winter Olympics are going to be in Salt Lake City in 10 years, is what somebody told me this week. I was like, oh. And what I thought immediately when I heard that, and I don't know if that's true or not, it's just what somebody said. And I was like, oh, Karaleigh could get there. She could actually sing at that one because I know she can get there.
You are my favorite. There is so much power in somebody else holding a vision for you
Yes.
and having a circle of people who can, especially on your worst days, because I know you do this for so many people where they're having a tough time and they're like, okay, tell me who I am. And you just run with it. And you're like, you are the most incredible person. I see you as the singer at the Olympics. I see you as your best self, no matter how we are at whatever given moment, because we are humans having a human experience. And so we are many things in any given day. We are a spectrum and we come and go with our emotions. And when you have people who are just choosing to see the best in you, you arise to that. And it's,
Yes.
oh, that
Yes.
will change your life.
It does change your life. And it doesn't cost anything except to show up for it takes some time, but even that, it doesn't necessarily take time because If you're a person who prays, you can pray. If you're a person who meditates, you can meditate. I meditate every morning, and what I do is I generate in my mind's eye pure loving light energy. I happen to believe in angels. And then I do it in collaboration with my angels, and then I ask my angels to take that pure loving light energy and hand it off to the angels of the people that I'm generating the love for in that moment. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be the world. It it could be whole cities or whole countries. It can be the whole world. When I'm doing it in collaboration with the divine, there's no limits to what I can
There
do and
really
what I can
aren't.
generate.
There really aren't. And it's so, so beautiful. So, as we are getting ready to wrap up, this has been so beautiful. I would love to hear more about your podcast and your programs and how people can learn more and how maybe what their first steps can be in creating their own list.
Yes. The first thing I would say, the podcast that I do with my friend Tara is called Connection Project 360. That's free. You can go to that every week. You can go back and listen to the podcast. I think we have 18 episodes at this point.
And you're gonna want to binge them all. They are so good. Like in my course and in my stuff, when I talk about like my favorite, like this one is my favorite. Mare's is my favorite podcast that I just love listening to. Like hers is totally binge worthy.
And you can learn a lot just by listening to the podcasts. You can go on the internet and look up bucket list and create a bucket list. There's books and classes, and just start with a bucket list. Tara and I are creating a free boot camp. We don't have it done yet. I keep thinking it's going to be this month, this month, this month, and I've just stopped saying when it's going to be. You can go to connectionproject360.com. That's our website or whatever, and you can see that things are under construction. At some point, hopefully soon, we will have the free boot camp so that you can learn how to get a list started. Just it's a drip. Remember, it changes all the time, so you can't do it wrong. You start somewhere. We will be offering ways that people can do a mini conscious connection. We call them connection accelerators, where we just take a smaller group of people and take them through 1 to 3 of their living intentions. How do you work a living intention? How do you squeeze the juice out of it? How do you support somebody else with theirs? We'll be teaching that, and that will be available in the next couple of months. So you just have to keep going back to the website. And when it is available, we'll start telling you on the podcast, but it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. We are piloting it, so we're actually doing it already. But to be offered to the public, it's probably a month or 2 down the road.
But coming up.
It's coming up.
By the
It'll
time
be
this
in
airs.
2024.
By the time this airs, maybe it'll be out.
Maybe it
We'll
will.
see.
Just go to connectionproject360.com and find out.
It'll be a magical mystery. What are some of the categories of that can spark desires? I know there's like travel and
There's health, there's relationships. These are the basic things that humans are collectively wanting in their life. Relationships, which could be friends, family, church, work,
you name it.
clubs,
Yeah.
hobbies, relationships. It could be health. It could be self-care. It could be nutrition. It could be exercise. It could be mental health. It could be physical health. It could be spiritual health. Health. So health, relationships, and money are the top 3. And money is abundance, prosperity, career, investing, everything that kind of shakes into the money bucket. I like to call that one plenty of money. That's the category. Plenty of money. plenty, because plenty to me and plenty to you and plenty to somebody else could be our definitions, because we're having the human experience, could be completely different. What does plenty mean? There's more. There's play. Play is actually a separate
Yeah,
category.
creativity is a really fun one to
It's
dive into.
huge. It's huge. And it's critical, I think, in having
If you had all
the
the time
human
in the
experience.
world.
I mean, creativity could be that you aren't aware of what resources are available, and so you're creative at gathering resources where there look like there's no resources in order to support your family. It could be creating a song. It could be hands on building something or sewing something or writing something, painting something. Creativity, it can go in lots and lots of different directions, but it's very important.
I love
So
this.
I would say those are some easy peasy ones to just, you just begin. You just
I
begin.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This has been so amazing. Do you have any final words of wisdom to share with us?
I would say that reclaiming your living intentions with love will change your life.
Oh, so perfect. You're amazing. Thank you so, so much for coming on today. Have
Nice.
an amazing day.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Oh my goodness, I just get so much every time I talk to Mare. It's like, it just helps me breathe better to talk to her. I just see myself in an entirely different light. I think everyone needs a Mare in their life. Anyways, here are my very favorite takeaways. Number 1, most humans want similar things. They want to be loved. They want to be seen. They want to be safe. They want to be creative. They want to be heard. They want to create a legacy for their children, regardless of their religion, regardless of their politics, regardless of their health. Those items, those constructs are what most people want. Number 2, you're here. You're having a human experience, so get the most out of it. Squeeze the juice out of your human experience, and you can't do it alone. Number 3, the power of vision and intention is everything. When you can see yourself in these dreams that you have, when you can see ahead, that's literally what manifestation is. It's knowing that you were made for this and it's going to happen and it's already part of you, even though it hasn't necessarily played out yet. Number 4, a bucket list item is something you can check off. Done. A living intention is something that you're being, an energy that you're being. It's a feeling that you emanate and expand into the world. Number 5, you don't get excused from your human experience. The difference is you don't have to stay in the suffering. Number 6, it's really about excavating your authentic self and being who you really are, which is pure, loving, light energy. That's who we all really are. And number 7, when you have people who are just choosing to see the best in you, you will rise to that and it will change your life. That is what being in Mare's world brings. She sees the best in people. And then you start to see the best in yourself and it literally transforms who you are. It's the most amazing gift you can give a person is to see the best in them. So make sure you go to Mare's website, which is connectionproject360.com, and just please do yourself the biggest favor and go binge her podcast. Don't just go listen to one, listen to all of them and listen to them in order because it's so good. It's so, so good. And her podcast is Connection Project 360. If you're interested in learning how to create your own podcast, you can find the link from my podcast creation course in the show notes, as well as Mare's links and all of those quotes. You can also find the link for the Snippet of Sunshine subscription page if you want to get those quotes in your inbox.
That's a really fun thing to do and get because they're really cute when I make those graphics. You can find my website link in the show notes, and then you can also find the Podcast Like a Mother podcast link in there. And then I'm going to leave you there because I want you to get onto this amazing song that I'm going to play for you because I love it, and I hope that you have an amazing day.